Long-term thinking culture. So the culture of an organization, everybody's focused on that in terms of how you produce results, in terms of shared values and common mission. And I have a few thoughts in terms of that generally, and also in regard to long-term thinking. So in order to be a B Corp, triple bottom line, sustainability in the future, however you want to think of it, you have to be focused on long-term thinking. And for your organization to be focused on long-term thinking, not only does the structure have to contribute to that, but your employees have to be bought in and tied into the long-term thinking culture. So a few thoughts on that. One is in hiring, and one is in compensation. In regard to hiring, there's a famous saying, hire for attitude, train for skill. So what you're looking for in a long-term culture mindset is people that recognize a holistic, synergistic, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And then we can get into a lot of ways of how you test for that, but people that are collaborative, people that bring out the best in others, people that think in terms of win-win, people that think in terms of holistic progress, as opposed to just individual. There is a role for individual recognition as well. But in terms of compensation, you may want to think about, if this is important to you, tying most of the compensation to long-term group performance. That I've talked about this in other podcasts. You have two pools of money. One pool of money is split evenly, and you could debate about which pool is going to be larger or whether they're going to be the same. But one pool of money is split evenly amongst the group based upon the attainment of group and company goals. So that means that everybody has to work together so they can maximize the financial performance of everyone. And the second pool of money is tied into individual performance, but not decided by the company, but decided by the group. And that's important because people have buy-in when they can decide rewards, and you have to satisfy the whole group in order to get the individual reward, so everybody feels included. And some people argue this could just devolve into a popularity contest, but usually if you have the group goals being funded by compensation, then the individual goals will align with that, because people realize that if they just compensate their friends that aren't very productive, not that their friends aren't productive, but if they just go on popularity rather than competence and results, then the whole company is going to suffer. And if the whole company suffers, then the financial compensation is going to suffer. So if you have two pools and one pool is for group performance and the second pool is for individual performance decided by the group is going to use that second pool also to bolster the first pool, and as a result they're going to reward people that have contributed to the entire group and to the entire group's performance. Also, in terms of long-term thinking, I just had a podcast on immersion and experiential things. So it's important that learning be real world and not academic, because you start to think in long-term sustainable factors when you actually are immersed with your customers, when you see the effects of your actions, when you think about the broad-based impacts of of your endeavors, and this all contributes to sustainable long-term thinking.